Hello everyone, I am Chris Sauter with MLC CAD Systems. I would like to welcome you to today's webinar. Today's webinar topic is going to cover some information on how MLC CAD Systems can help you work remotely with our desktop software, such as SolidWorks CAD, simulation, data management, etc. Let's start by talking about the reason why I'm giving this presentation today. Well, if you all remember, in 2020, the world changed and much of the business world came to a standstill due to the global pandemic. And how did we cope with the workplace restrictions? Well, the ones that had no choice had to temporarily close their doors, while others that could shifted to remote work. Now, here's some statistics so we can see what impact this had on the business world. Statistics published in 2021 by Track tell us that 88% of businesses around the globe mandated or encouraged employees to work from home while in the grips of the pandemic. What's interesting from this publication is that 80% of those companies are planning to allow employees to work at least some of their time remotely now that the pandemic is over. It was a bit hectic at first, but like most things, once it's settled, we kind of figured out how to make this work. So the question now is, what does the future look like? Well, according to FlexJobs, remote workforce statistics, 75% of work-from-home employees prefer the setup because there are fewer distractions. Now, there's a lot of benefits from remote work, and on the screen now, you're seeing just a bullet list of some of those benefits. So to pick out a couple of these, one of the biggest benefits that employees saw was the flexible hours. 97% of employees actually prefer flexible working schedules. Another big hitter was flexible workspaces and better work-life balance. A lot of remote workers reported that they can spend more time with their families, and they appreciate the fact that they can work from home, which really just allows a better work-life balance. So, if remote work is something that's here to stay, let's look at how MLC CAD Systems can help. So what I would like to do today is introduce or reintroduce MLC CAD Systems Dedicated Server Solution. This has been an offering of ours for a few years now, but with the events of 2020, many existing customers were able to quickly see the benefits of having this infrastructure in place. What we saw at MLC is that our customers that had the traditional office environment had to quickly change, and many did not have the infrastructure in place to support remote work. So therefore, they incurred some downtime and interruptions to their environments. Our customers that already had taken advantage of our remote server offering saw little downtime to none at all. They simply switched their desks and carried on as normal. Here's what an MLC CAD Systems dedicated server looks like. These are the default specs at the time of this webinar, so these will be upgraded over time. And of course, these specs can always be changed or upgraded at your request to suit your needs. The access to the hosted server can be via either a private VPN or a dedicated site-to-site VPN, or even both, meaning that you will always have access to your data no matter where you sit. Now, to answer the question that we're often asked, what can you put on your dedicated server? Well, the answer to that is anything you want. That would be SolidWorks products or anything else. Think of this as your own server because it is your own private dedicated server. Looking at the benefits of a dedicated server, it's quick and a cheap way to get the infrastructure that you need up and running with no hardware to purchase up front. You can focus less on IT and more time on making great products. On top of the hardware, MLC also offers our technical expertise. So you can let us be your admins as well as your IT. This will reduce your need for IT staff and software administrators. We will make sure that your software is tuned and up to date with the latest release of any software. So now we understand a little bit more about the MLC CAD Systems dedicated server offering. Let's take a look at some comparisons to other solutions. I'm going to start here with the on-premise. And by on-premise, what I'm talking about here is you owning your own physical server on site at your location. Well, one of the main benefits of the MLC server solution has over on-premise is the upfront savings that you would not have by not having to purchase hardware. The cost of a server can run into many thousands of dollars, so we can just eliminate this cost immediately. Even if you have your own server, it's going to need replacing at some point. With MLC CAD Systems server solution, you will always be up to date with the hardware. MLC servers come with annual upgrades, backup and recovery, so you can rest assured that your data is safe and you are working on the best hardware available. For disaster recovery, the data center is managed 24/7 by IT experts, and all data is backed up and guaranteed to be available. Continuing on with the benefits of a dedicated server, let's look at how the dedicated server compares against the cloud solution. Well, with cloud software offerings, there may be some limits to what you can control, such as update schedules, as well as how the software works. Let me throw a few questions out there and give you some time to consider these. With an MLC server solution, you control the update schedule. This may be not possible to control with a cloud solution. How would you handle a software update that includes possible changes to how the software works? That may be something you want to avoid, especially if you're in the middle of a critical project with timelines. I also want to ask, does your cloud offering have the ability to configure your own process? Can attributes be mapped from processes to automatically capture things like approval dates, signatures of approvals? Can an intelligent file naming conventions be used? Often the answer to these questions is no with a cloud offering. Also with cloud offerings, you may be often obliged to pay a recurring fee and sometimes on a monthly basis. What happens if there's an interruption to your service? Where does your data go? Do you still have access to it if you don't pay that monthly fee? And then finally, how easy would it be if you decided that at some time in the future you want to retrieve all your data from the cloud environment and move it to another solution? How easy is it to access your data and bring it over to another solution? All very important questions that you need to think about. So in summary, if your software and data is on an MLC dedicated server, some of the benefits you're going to see are listed below. You've got a very low upfront cost with no hardware to purchase. You'll have the latest available hardware for optimal performance. You're going to get support from industry experts for your server and your software solutions. And everything is in one place, and all users have access to that data from anywhere that there is an internet connection. So you're likely to incur less downtime. Now that things are getting somewhere back to normal, and things are starting to open up now and go back to the way they used to be, now is a great time for you to prepare for the next time something like this happens, so that next time you're fully prepared and you don't incur any downtime from surprises that may happen